nice to meet you today.
Thank you for having interviewed us today. Before starting this meeting, let me introduce my friends and myself. This is Jungwon, Kyungjun, and Wonjun, and we are in year 7 and we are in class L. As you may know, we are here to have an interview with you. In order to find your thought and vision, we have prepared 5 questions.
Okay.
I hope your kind and frank answer for these questions.
Will do.
If you're ready, can I start? The first question is about your thoughts about our school NLCS schedule.
Yeah.
What is NLCS schedule to you?
Yes.
Right. So what does it mean to me? Yes.
Yes.
Right. What it means for me is probably 2 or 3 things. Firstly, it means a very, very good education, very good academic education, an education that will get you very good exam results, and exam results that will help you go to the next stage of your education. So, for example, to help you to go to university and to the best universities in the world. So that's the first thing. So the second thing about an NLCS education is about creating the whole person and about giving you other opportunities. So outside of the classroom, the co-curricular activities, to give you a chance to get involved in lots of things that you can be good at and lots of things that you can try yourselves out at. That's another aspect of it. And the third part of it is about developing your personality and about developing good relationships with other students, about making sure that you enjoy yourselves here and that you have a pleasant existence. You learn about how to treat people and how to get on with people.
And what do you think about our school?
So far, good. So far it's worked very well. So far we've been very successful. And I think most people have settled down. They've got used to the school. They've got used to the expectations that we have, both in lessons and outside of lessons. So at this point in time, very good. And hopefully, if you ask me that question in a year's time, hopefully I'll say excellent.
Our second and third question is about your success story. In order to become a principal, what have you done and what kind of efforts have you made?
Okay. Before I became principal of NLCS Jeju, I was the principal in Dubai, in the Middle East. I was principal of a British international school there called Dubai English Speaking College. And I was principal there for 6 years, and it was a principal of a school of about 1,500 students. We had students very similar to North London, students from reception all the way through to year 13. And I built that school from the beginning, so I understand what it's like to create a brand new school. And before that I was a principal in a place called Bahrain in the Middle East. You may or may not have heard of it, but Bahrain is right next to Saudi Arabia, and it's a very oil-rich country. And I was the principal there for 4 years. And before that I was an acting principal in London, in a school very, very similar to NLCS. And most of my other experience was in the UK.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay.
We will move on to our next question. We think there were some bad or hard times in your life. And how did you overcome these times, and what was your hard time?
Right, very good. As principal, you have a lot of hard times because it's not an easy job. It's very difficult, and I've faced a lot of difficulties and challenges. And you overcome them by being resilient. You be strong, and you're very determined, and you're clear about what you want. And you have to have a lot of courage. You have to have conviction. You have to have belief, and you have to be able to overcome some major obstacles. And in this job I've had my difficulties, and in jobs I've had before I've had my difficulties. But I suppose it's experience and age is probably the best things. I've been through it before, so I know what to face, and my experience helps me move to the next stage. But things are getting better now here. We've overcome most of the problems, and now we're into the situation where we just have to look forward and move on, and hopefully turn NLCS Jeju into the best school in the world. That's my aim, and I know that's not going to be easy.
And our following question, we would like to ask you about our Korean language and Korean social class. As you know, there are many other country people like Luke in our school. They are also supposed to attend Korean language class, and some of them have concern on this. What do you think about his fact that foreign students need to learn Korean as their second language?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think that's the only answer. I think you've given me the answer that what has to happen is that if you come to a school in Korea, although it's a British school, then you have to learn English. So we have to learn Korean. So do I. You know, it's important that I live in Korea. I learned Korean. Just if you came to live in England, you'd have to learn English, because I can't operate in Korea without knowing Korean. So it's important that all of the students who come from UK or New Zealand or Canada, China, US, wherever, that they try to learn some Korean and to operate here. But I think it's important that Luke does that class. I think it's important that he learns about your history, that he learns about your social studies, and he learns your language. Just as if you came to England, you would learn about their culture and their background. And I think it's a very, very important part of the school. When I was in the Middle East, all of the students had to learn Arabic. It was compulsory. You had to. So I agree with it. I think it's important that you do understand the language and the culture of the country in which you live.
Our last question is about your vision. As a principal, what is your goal and what would you like to achieve in this school?
Okay. My goal for NLCS Jeju is to establish it, is to get it up and running and get it full and get it in a position where it can go forward. And we're at the beginnings of that. And the aim is to bring in highly achieving students who will be very successful. And my vision is to have a school that is a replication of the school in London, so that we have the same type of academic standards, that the students learn very much the same things, and that you all leave this school with a great education and the opportunities to do whatever you want. Because our school in London, the students who leave that school are very, very successful people, and that's exactly what I want for all of you.
We finished the questions, and again, thank you for having us. And we really appreciate your precious time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much indeed. There were some very good questions. Well done. Thank you. And thank you for